Wanna go out, Mama? You wanna go out? You wanna go out into this? Will help me shovel? No? You're running away? So I've got a shovel all the way over there and then out to the road before I can leave. Snow always changes my mood, even if I'm not going to do anything in it. I love everything being bright. Oh, it's heavy. Heavy wet snow. So I've got about 6 or 7 inches of very heavy wet snow. Getting to the studio pretty late today because of all the snow shoveling. But yeah, feeling good. Listening to How Am I Doing by Dr. Corey Yeager, which is okay. It's okay. Nothing great. I haven't taken a single note yet, but it's okay. I'm sure a lot of people would get something out of it. It's a base level self-help book, but anyway, I'm just sitting here mesmerized by watching the snow fall on the windshield. But I should probably get out of the car and go upstairs and get to work. When I get into the studio early in the morning, I'm the only one here in the building. And the 4th floor is pretty much vacant until around noon when pickleball people show up. So I use the bathroom as a second office. I've got a little table and chair and these giant windows. And windows probably 10 feet tall. And it's nice light, so I come in here and I listen to clients that have sent me messages and I take notes. Just gives me another space to hang out and work, and there's a shower. Ooh, it's windy up here today. They got another 10 inches of fluff and it looks magical. So you often hear me talk about narrative burdens as we go throughout our day, and how if we can just shake off the narrative, life is a lot easier. And here's a great example of that. This poor tree is just so heavily burdened with this snow, and we need to shake off its burden. Could someone help me deburden this tree?
Oh, yeah. I got you.
Oh,
yeah. Deburden yourself.
Deburden. Enlighten. Oh, freedom.
Freedom.
Almost. The burden doesn't immediately disappear when the load is released, but oh no. That was a pretty short ski today. It's really windy and there's a lot of branches down in the short hill, and snow is very deep even though he's out there grooming it. So I'm gonna call it early and head back to the studio and do some elliptical. Are you girls trying to tell me something? Pretty busy for a Tuesday afternoon. It's a chilly one today. The wind is howling up here on the mountain and it's snowing pretty dark. So I'm gonna try to do some technique work. Hopefully the branches and trees that came down with the heavy snow and ice have been cleaned up. Yesterday I was cleaning them up as I was skiing along, flicking them with my poles. Anyway, I'm gonna do some more Simon-Kruger V2 technique, working on the arm whip and trying to get my legs to coordinate with that. We'll see. We've got about 18 inches of fresh snow. In preparation for the marathon, I'm gonna back off on my strength training a bit. I'm still gonna do lots of touches, but decrease the volume. So the GTB is toes to bar. Loving it more and more as I go. Before bed, I have some kind of protein concoction. This is Vega protein powder with cacao powder, tiny bit of agave nectar, some water, and that's it. And I mix that up, and there's about 20 grams of protein in there, and I try to get 20 grams of protein before I go to bed. It's not really all that pleasant to eat, but I don't care. I just want the protein, so I'm not trying to make it an enjoyable experience. Sometimes I make a smoothie, but then I tend to have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and I don't if I just do the powder, so more often than not, I'm just doing this. I usually start my day with a grape juice water combination. I put maybe an inch of grape juice in here and then 3 inches of water. So it's a 3-to-1 ratio, water to grape juice. And for whatever reason, that's how I like to start my day. I love it. Cheers. It's really refreshingly subtle. Ooh, I just found a way to create dream sequences. I'm a big fan of drinking natural well water, so I fill up 2 bottles every morning and put them here in the fridge so they're cold when I get home. And then I bring 3 or 4 to the studio so I have nice cold well water throughout the day. And I like it cold. To me, it's a much more enjoyable experience drinking cold water. And sometimes when I'm at home, with a little bit of grape juice. Supposed to get more snow tonight, but at some point you run out of places to put the snow. We're trying out a new style of thermal curtain to keep the house warm at night. It's got teeth. Pretty big storm coming this afternoon, so I gotta get a quick ski in and then head down the mountain before I get stuck here. I've got my Dollar Tree safety glasses on today. $1.25, and they work perfectly. I just finished my paraffin bath, and I think this one is gonna come off in a much more satisfying way. Look at that. I'll start here. Oh yeah. It's gonna come off like a glove. Ooh, this is the fun part. I'll take this big section off, and then I'll just slide the fingers off. It feels so good. Getting a lot more flexibility in my thumbnail. Huge improvement. I'm able to get a lot of bend in it. Exciting. Still hurts a lot, but I got a lot more motion. Hopefully the pain subsides in time. Because I'm dropping my volume this week, I wanted to up the intensity today, a few days out from the race. So I invented a new kind of pull-up, at least for me, the V1 pull-up, which I'll show you later. And they're super hard. And then on my polling, I went pretty intense and kept increasing the weight. The last 5-minute set at B4 was pretty intense, but I was watching the end of the men's 50-kilometer ski championships, 2019 world champs, and it was awesome. That's one of the most inspiring races I've ever seen. So to ski along with the racers at the end of that race, how intense it was. it kept me going through those efforts, which, yeah. Ooh, there's a mama kitty waiting. Hey, mama. What you doing, huh? You waiting? Wanna go in? All right. Good girl. Big dinner salad with sauerkraut, onions, sunflower seeds, and I'm probably gonna add some hummus as well. Snowed more last night, but then rained on top of it, so it's kind of a wet, sticky mess. Great for building snowmen and a luge run, which we used to build up on the hill. We'd get all the family and neighborhood kids and shovel all day and then have a fun luge ride down. Listening to the book, Modern Software Engineering. Oh, yeah, mistakes will happen. Anticipate that. That's the thesis of this book. Yeah, anyway, I'm getting some good learning in as I drag wood today. Whew. I've got to head to recycling this morning, but I've been here in the studio for an hour and a half, and I noticed that I'm avoiding getting everything in the car. So whenever I have that sense of avoidance, I want to take a look. I want to pull back the covers and see what's underneath and find the thing that I'm resisting. So when I go through the process of like, what is it that my body really doesn't want to do? It doesn't want to go up and down the stairs. And when I recognize that, it's like, oh, I actually like the stairs. But there's a part of me that still wants to avoid them because it associates stairs with difficulty. So I'm going to slowly approach the stairs with some boxes, show myself that it's safe, and then go up and down, gently letting myself know that it's okay. It's okay to go up and down stairs. So this is a great illustration of the difference between the predictive self and the experiencing self, because my predictor thinks I'm going to hate this, but my experiencer loves it. It's a game that I play. I get to go up the stairs backwards. So my experience is positive, but my prediction of the experience is negative. It is almost entirely wrong all the time. So we have to take this into consideration when we are procrastinating. Tease apart what is it that I'm actually avoiding, and then go to the experience rather than the prediction of the experience. Touch it, get into it, and it's like, oh, I like the stairs, but the predictor doesn't know that, and it never will. I got some sweet scores today at the dump. I got an 18-foot folding aluminum ladder. I got 2 buckets full of shelf brackets, bolts, nuts, all kinds of fun goodies. I got 3 saws, 4 saws actually, hacksaw. I got some old sash weights. They would open and close curtains. I use these in exercise machines that I developed. I got 2 awesome metal brackets. So excited, what a great haul. But this ladder, oh my God. I have an extension ladder in the studio, but it's way too hard to move around. This is gonna be so much easier. It's a pretty dreary day. It rained and snowed last night, so even though the mountain is getting more and more snow, it's super wet now, and that creates a lot of suction on the bottom of your skis, and it's not an enjoyable experience to ski in it. So rather than tiring myself out trying to push through the sticky snow, I'm going to stay here in the studio, do some elliptical. I haven't done a long elliptical session in a while, and maybe do some really easy poling machine and work on studio projects. It's around 5 a.m. and I have come to the studio early today because I have to take my mom to a funeral in New Jersey. One of her cousins died, and yeah, so I'm going to be driving her down. It's snowing, the roads are not good. So anyway, I'll be there all day. It's about a 3.5 hour drive down, then back, and the funeral. So not a lot of people left in her generation. So kind of sad. This will likely be the last time that she gets to see many of, or the few remaining family members that she knew growing up. Anyway, gonna get a quick workout and then get somewhat dressed up and go to New Jersey. Not really a fan of funeral homes. I find them rather depressing. Hey everybody, it's Saturday, which means it's race prep day. The big race is tomorrow. And that means that I'm going to be dealing with a lot of anxiety today. People often say to me, oh my God, it must be so nice to do all these races and that must be so much fun. It's not fun. Races feel like battles to me. I learn a lot and I highly value my race experiences, but they're not fun. It's an extreme experience. And leading up to it today, you feel that battle on the horizon. I've got anxiety about the wax, anxiety about what to wear, not because I'm interested in fashion, but you don't want to overdress and you don't want to underdress. Winter sports are challenging in that way, especially in a longer race. You want to make sure that you're not freezing or losing your fingers, but you also want to make sure that you're not overheating. Because with a race bib on, you can't take a top layer off. So whatever you wear at the start of the race is what you're going to be wearing at the finish. There's no way to shed clothing. So today is all about reminding myself to be gentle, reminding myself to take really small steps, telling myself that it's okay. It's okay when I go pick out the wax. It's okay when I put the wax on. It's okay when I take the wax off. And this is something I do for every race. The preparatory period is often very challenging, so I have to slow down, make the steps really small, get really present to what I'm doing, not let my mind run ahead to who's going to be there tomorrow and how fit they are. There's going to be a bunch of Olympians in this race. And the guy that beat me in the World Championships by 1.8 seconds, the guy that got second place, he's going to be there. So there's all of this fear, anxiety about being discovered as wanting tomorrow. People are going to find out, I'm going to find out, more importantly, that I don't measure up. And that's a terrifying thought for my identity. So even though I practice being outside of identity as often as possible, I still have identity. It's still there. It still drives, or at least tries to drive much of what I do. So my job as a conscious agent outside of identity is to keep bringing it back here, bringing it back now. So that I can take the steps, so that I can show up, and so that I can take advantage of this gigantic volume of training that I now sit on, and a very stiff butt. Okay, I'm going to get up, go to Massachusetts, get some wax, and practice gentleness. Here we go. I'm about to head to Berkshire Outfitters in Adams, Mass, which is about 30 minutes south of here, to see my buddy Steve. He's got a cool ski shop down there, and I've got to get some glide wax, which I'm doing reluctantly. One of the reasons I didn't get back into cross-country skiing when I moved back to Vermont in 2007 was the waxing. It's really expensive, it's very toxic, and it's annoying as hell to put on, and you can get it wrong. So you can spend all this money and time and still get the wrong wax, and everybody else is flying past you on the downhills, and they're using less effort on the uphills. So it benefits those with a lot of money and big teams. So for instance, in the World Cup, the Norwegians usually have the best wax because they have the most money and the biggest wax teams, tech teams. And those countries that don't have the resources and therefore have fewer technicians and fewer skis to work on, they end up slower most of the time. So I'm into sports that are more about what you do with your body. And waxing gives an advantage to those with greater resources, and I don't like that. But unfortunately, I'm in love with skiing. I love the sport. It is such an extraordinary arena to explore. There's so many different things to work on. And yet I also want to do well because it's advertising. It's a resume item. Not for me as an individual, but for my business, for what I do as a coach. If I do well in different races, and if I can do well in a new sport that I'm trying out after being a runner forever, that's a really good advertisement. Like, hey, I'm going to try this skiing thing, and I'm going to invest myself for 1 or 2 years and see if I can get some good results. Okay, that's a good experiment. But in order to get those results, I got to play the wax game. And I really wish I didn't. I wish there were stock races where everybody had the same skis and the same wax, and they just handed you a pair of skis and they're all equal, and you go and let the best person win. Like running. Well, until the carbon plated shoes came out, which I also really don't like. Anyway, I'm off to talk and purchase wax with Steve. Look at these pretty pink poles.
Try that on, we'll walk around a little bit.
Steve pulled out this ancient VO Max suit, and it's got red, white, and blue theme. Super wrinkly, oh my God. Yeah, the suit's like 25, 30 years old. Anyway, you want me to model it? Steve said this suit makes me look fast. What do you think?
I think I'm going to turn off all the candles in here.
Turn off all the lights. You don't need them as bright enough.
We could have what's that called? That spontaneous combustion in there right now.
So Steve, did they have running water and electricity when the suit came out?
We're going back to the 80s.
Parking lot is full. I'm gonna go in to the end because there's often people leaving and they leave spaces. Not only that, I can dump my stuff off and then come back here and park and not have to carry it. Not huff. Just skied for about 40 minutes and it was awesome. I'm feeling good. Snow is nice and hard now. So I was able to work on my technique and did a few pickups. I'm pumped for tomorrow. I'm nervous, but I'm also pumped. Mostly just to work on good, solid technique the whole race. That's my goal. Not to get a particular place, but just to have solid technique throughout. And today it felt really good. So, here we go. It's Wolfie in a very small box. Barely fit in that box, Woo. Yeah.